Well, howdy ho, and what's up there, everyone, on the Book of Faces and the interwebs and the grammars and the tweeters and the everybody else. As you can see, this is a little bit different than what my videos normally contain or content. Whatever. It's really late. It's the middle of the night. That's why we're called Midnight Run Creations, because that's what we do. So, doing some midnight work on the Midnight Run shop truck. Still don't have a name for it yet. Again, I don't want to go with something stupid like Red Apple or Bad Apple or El Toro or I don't know, any of that kind of stuff. I want something unique and different and stuff. So, but yeah, so front clip is on. So, been kind of just messing around. So first issue is going to find out after the engine and everything's in and we got weight on the front and stuff like that, that the way I previously had the front fenders set up, it wouldn't turn. It turned a little bit and then it hit the fenders because these were like several inches down, and you can see that lip. If it sits down too far, then it catches the big old 19-inch wheels and stuff that's on there. So yeah, so I cut this side out, moved it up, kind of tacked it to I can see what it looks like. So it doesn't look too awfully bad. The problem was trying to, well, I did this second. So I did the driver's side first and tried to pie cut this. I tried to go chink, 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 chink like that and open it up and stuff. The problem is the way I had this extended and curled, it still ran over. So I started to lift things up and then it started to separate from the addition that I put in here because I added I added more than that. It's several, like 3-4 inches or something like that. I added to this piece right here. Actually, that line right there was right up against this body line here. And so this just the one I already done a bunch of stuff to, just it started falling apart and stuff. So I got really pissed off and cut it and stuff. And so I was like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on. I tried some other stuff on the other side, which we'll go over there and show. So I'm still messing with that. And in the meantime, I'm like, well, I wonder if I cut this and just go and move it up and stuff. So, which actually works pretty nicely. But like I said, this side got freaking mutilated and stuff. And yeah, it was just old metal and messing with it. Anyway, so that's what we have for there. So on the driver's side, trying something a little bit different. I've ordered some flares to kind of go on here and try it. But in the meantime, part of the problem is that the normal wheel arch of the Dodge, even though it had dinky, tiny little stupid tires on it, they had like ginormous wheel openings inside of them. So that was part of it too, which is weird because even though I have big old 19-inch wheels and stuff and tires and everything onto it, it still looks funky because it has this giant freaking opening and stuff with it. So, like I said, I might do the same thing as on the other side. I don't know. But at least with this, so what I've done is cut some replacement pieces, and it's just kind of weird this angle to see, and I need to bend some of this stuff out and pull this fender off and hammer some stuff. But for the gist of it, what I've done is taken that out and then filled in with metal for as much as I can, leaving enough clearance for the tire to, of course, do its full lock to lock and, in here to dive in, dive out and stuff. And, not just skin tight, but enough room because obviously it's going to move. I might have to do some kind of trimming too, but I'm going to wait until I figure out whatever I'm doing, whether I'm going to do, a partial arch up here or like a splayed fender or like the whole one thing I did before I started doing this was, as you see from the squared off part, I decided, well, what if I square it and kind of bring a squared, semi-rounded, big flare to kind of match the rear, kind of take up this whole front of this fender, kind of bring it out a lot like what all the other trucks of this year, like the Chevys and the Fords, and especially like the Internationals have just huge, big old squared ones and stuff onto it. So that was another thing I toyed with, was splitting this open along here and taking this whole thing and stretching it out, but which may be, but not right now. I got to figure something else different with it. I mean, we're already starting to get things rocking and rolling. This is honestly pissing me off anyway, that I'm even at this point when I should be assembling and worrying about that stuff in there and wiring and stuff onto it. So, which got quite a bit of work done as far as that goes. The Holley stuff is, I believe, all in. PCM and stuff, and I'll get this moved away for another one, but the PCM is in here in the center console kind of deal. So the PCM's in there and all the wiring and stuff tucked up. All the gauges are hooked up. So everything oil and stuff, like the senders aren't hooked up to it, but the gauges power all up and stuff. I already checked that. I've got my battery set back here. Main power runs, comes down, pops up through the center console and feeds in. So we've got a main breaker switch inside, just the other side of the B&M shifter. The PCM with the Holley system is all inside there. Wiring bumps up into the dash and stuff. And so here's some of the other general wiring. Still need to run stuff for taillights and headlights, but we'll worry about that later. Gas tank is all in. I got the sending unit and the power wire all ran to, because the Holley will activate the what's it called? The fuel pump. There we go. So the Holley can run that. So the Holley run the fuel pump. And then now we'll also have to have it run the fan too. So that's what I was doing tonight, was getting this little bit, welded back in so it could mess with it later. And then also the bulk of what was going on this evening was the radiator. So this is a Cadillac Escalade engine. I had the Cadillac radiator, but the thing is just massive. I mean, it literally, I think, sticks back in like from here to back inside the fan. It was huge. And it could fit because I chopped the frame rails of the Vic back like I did right there. So it fit, but then it shoves it clear back up in here into the nose and stuff. And then it's like sticking like in here and stuff, and I didn't like that in case something bounced up or whatnot. And plus it sat like super low, which was weird because then you're like reaching way down anyway. So we went ahead with I went ahead with the radiator. So got this one off online. I think it's for like supposed to be a Camaro or whatever and stuff. So nice aluminum 3-core, 4-core I think, with the shroud and electric fan and stuff onto it. So that'll be cool. Made a bracket system and stuff for it. So it mounts in here and hangs. So nothing to do with the front clip. It's all hooked into the subframing that's underneath this. So if this front clip has to come off, which obviously it does, to do this stuff, and then also to get in here and finish welding all my framing and stuff, the inside lips and all that. So this whole front clip, because it's just the 3 pieces, but all it does is bolts, 2 bolts there and then 1 down on the bottom. So, and of course the hood's easy to come off too. So, but now for the meantime, we're not ready to put the hood on yet, but for this stuff, I've got more things to do underneath here, wire up, plugs, wires, all that kind of stuff, get the exhaust stuff hooked up with it. So this will be able to come off and everything stays here. Same with if we're out at the track and something happens or, whatever, it just kind of makes it so that this is all self-contained, wee, like vice grip tile. Yeah, so the radiator's there. So this is kind of an odd setup on this one. The LS swap ones actually put both the radiator in and out on this one side here, instead of having them opposite, so that all the hoses can just go blink like this. But they want like 3 times as much for this stupid freaking radiator just because it has it over here and because it's an LS swap radiator. So I don't know, whatever, pain in the ass stuff. So we just went with this one. Nice and cheap. So it will mean just like which is kind of funny because the factory Chevy radiators, that's why they're set up as a hose over here. And so you got a hose that goes blink into here anyway. So it'll just go and into there like it's supposed to. And of course, the belt's going to go up and clear it because that's what the belt did before with it. So just trying to getting things situated. So if you haven't noticed already, this little guy over here, it is a supercharger, Powerdyne supercharger to be more exact. So not really, well, not at all ideal or even meant for this. These things are, we're putting a lot of the Mustangs and stuff with it. It's no intercooler with it. They don't want an intercooler because that will restrict it. That will kill it. So just very low boost, like 7-8 pounds, nothing big at all. Just a little bit to have some fun and stuff with it. If I don't like how it performs, yoink, easy to pull that off and go back with the serpentine pulley here. It looks like kind of the way, so this is like the only spot. I mean, if anybody sees any better, feel free to let me know. But I've tried it over here and stuff, over here. It just, part of the problem is this snout. This is what goes into the intake. And so, of course, it's set here instead of just being, straight off. So that's a major pain in the ass. The way this is all situated and stuff is just a royal pain in the ass too with it. But kind of my own doing with getting a supercharger. I mean, the price was just great on it and stuff. And kind of why not? Because we've got a gnarly cam, well, not gnarly, semi gnarly cam that's in it. So then this will along well, and file the rings down to run for boost and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I've tried everything, sticking it over here and stuff. The problem is where the pulley's situated onto it. If I took this whole thing and spin it around, then I'd be smacking right into the radiator, and I have to go back to sticking the radiator like way back inside of here and stuff, which I didn't want to have to do because servicing and just protection and stuff with it, keep it up here and whatnot. But yeah, so that's really the only spot I can think of with it. We'll just have to kind of adjust and play with it. One of the big things is when the belt is where it's supposed to be, it's catching on the thermostat housing because of the way it sits. So I've got a straight one. Kind of funny. The first thing of the problem was the snout on the oil fill, because these LSs have a big old snout that comes up, especially since it's a truck motor, and it comes up even farther because you got big old truck fenders and stuff that you got to lean over. So thought it was going to be a complicated fill, and it comes to find out you just take the cap off of the neck. You take the neck off, and that goes blink and fits right on and stuff. So pretty cool. Even my good friend Chevy buddy that knows these LSs in and out and stuff, works at GM for all his life and career, was even like, oh shit, I guess that does work, huh? I was like, yeah, it sure does. So we got the downpipes we'll put on. The exhaust system showed up this weekend, I think it was. Yeah, showed up this weekend. It's actually from Walmart online. I mean, not obviously Walmart themselves, but just like with Amazon, they're starting to run stuff too. So, I mean, it was hella cheap. It's 2.5 inch, which will be fine for this whole system. And it was like $100 some or something like that. So pretty cool. So no mufflers yet, but I've got whole pile of mufflers over there, so we'll try some of the different ones I have and see what we like. I might even do cutoffs that kind of come somewhere, dump out, so that we can make it super obnoxious loud if I want to and stuff. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. Radiator is all in exactly where I want it. The wiring for it will just go in and run off of the Holley, because what the Holley does, it has extra circuits, so you can run the fuel pump, you can run a fan, I think AC, I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It gives you a ton of different circuits to run a ton of different things and stuff onto it. So, but yeah, spark plugs, wires. I mean, everything else is wired up, prime ready to go. Oh, the oil cooling setup and stuff with it. I got the little adapter for that, so I'm going to get the oil cooler and stuff onto it. I might just plug them, put it on, put pipe plugs on them, so that I can get it filled up with fluids and stuff and fire it up and run and stuff and check it. But yeah, so this is our biggest thing right now, is getting the supercharger to sit where it needs to sit and stuff onto it. So I think I was advised to get a laser plumb or I don't even know. Again, it's late. A laser guide edge, so you can put on like up there to shine across, so you can make sure that this gets set, obviously, even because if it's off kilter, then it's either going to eat belts or it'll just spin the belt off with it, which is not good with this one because it's a serpentine. So if it breaks this belt or spins this belt off, then I have no water pump. I mean, alternator stuff is obviously not a whoop-de-doo, but I have no water pump and stuff onto it, and obviously no supercharger. So yeah, no bueno. So we got to make sure this is dead nuts on and stuff, and I don't know, might be some kind of safety or something for it. So yeah, anyway, supercharger. And of course, this is the intake side, so we'll have the filter sitting here, and that's the other fun thing, is this is going to go and come, so it'll go knit out across here, bend in, and then sink in and stuff. So yeah, probably not ideal, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll try it. Again, it's easy because I'm leaving the other stuff so we can put back the standard serpentine if it doesn't perform and doesn't work like I want it to work. And then we can go with, getting a Pro Charger for the LS type of setup. Or I do still have twin turbo kit over there and all that. That's what that mess of stuff is. You can see the intercooler right there and some blue pipe hoses. So we could always do twin turbskis, because I already tried that and was my initial route I was going to go with, if you look back in the videos and stuff. And so I already checked that. I mean, these manifolds set this direction perfectly, like down in here and stuff. So, I mean, it would be, yeah, could fit that. It's just the whole thing of then we're back to trying to figure out piping stuff. And then, I mean, do have plenty of room in here. Giant freaking cavity back inside here to put a intercooler and stuff like that. So it can be done. Of course, anything can be done with enough time, money, fabrication, all that kind of stuff. Where there's a will, there's a way, as they say. So yeah, that's what we got going on with the shop truck. Yeah, that's the update I wanted to give. So I am done and I am going to bed. Good night.